Happy Friday. Thank you for tuning in for this week's Fermented Friday with the Brewers Association of Maryland. I'm Jim Bachman, the Director of Communications for BAM. And today we are going on a trip far west in Maryland. We're going beyond the mountains. We're going out to Cumberland. We're going to stop in at 1812 Brewery and check in with Corey. Up until now, we've gone as far west as Frederick and Washington County, but today we're going to plant our feet in Allegheny County. If you are tuning in after we've gone live, catch up with us. Ask any questions that may not be asked. Feel free to throw them in the comments. And if we don't get to them on this stream, we will be sure to answer them as follow-ups. But thanks again for tuning in. We're excited to get this weekend started. For everybody out there who is tuning in, please keep in mind that Maryland's breweries are open for business. Tasting rooms are open throughout the state, still at 50% capacity due to the governor's orders. The movement into phase 3 in many of the counties throughout the state does not change the capacity at our breweries. So we're still waiting for some added guidance from the governor to come in the next few weeks, hopefully, that will allow us an opportunity to expand our service capacities. But in the meantime, carry out, curbside pickup, delivery, shipping of Maryland beer, it can all happen. Check out with your favorite local brewery to see what they're offering and order Maryland beer and show your support for these great businesses. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of news from BAM this week. We're getting ready for a big week next week. We're going to be putting out a bunch of information, asking for your support, getting some more solidified tax relief for our breweries. Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for some movement from the Brewers Association out of Denver, Colorado. They're going to be helping with all of this as well. So have a wonderful and safe weekend and have a great time with Corey and I. If you have any questions in the next hour, throw them in the chat. We'd love to talk to you and address those questions. Corey, how you doing, man?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on, Jim.
Absolutely. It's always lovely to see you. I've only seen you once since all this crazy stuff started.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on since we last saw, and changing ways we're doing stuff and all. But hey, we're still here and gonna be here for a while, I think. So
that's what I like to hear. So right off the bat, what are you guys up to make 1812 a safe and hospitable place during COVID?
So really, for us, we're pretty fortunate as a farm brewery. We have a big outdoor space. We have a big patio outside that we've been fortunate to be able to spread everyone out outside and still be able to have pretty decent crowds on the weekends since we've been able to reopen since it's gone from just takeout.
That's awesome. So people are able to come out there, enjoy some fresh draft beer, enjoy the beautiful vistas, and have a good time, right?
Oh yeah, get some fresh air, some fresh beer, and or if you want, you can just swing by and get some to-go stuff. Because and now we're changing up stuff. I think it's only going to help us that we're going to keep in the future doing now just like a window service. It's actually kind of quicker for us, more efficient, serving people right through the patio, easy to get in, get out.
That's great. So let's get right into this. For people who have not been to 1812 yet, or who may not know your story, you guys are 3 years old at this point. 4?
Yeah, 3. We just had our 3-year anniversary in June.
That's what I thought.
Brand new sometimes, and yeah.
So share your story. Where did you guys come up with this awesome concept? You're on a beautiful property. You've got an awesome building that your brewery is in. Tell us all about it.
So we're right now. I'm in the tap room, which we got the name 1812 because the barn was originally built in 1812. It was originally a dairy farm, and then eventually switched over to being a strawberry farm. Originally, I wasn't really, to be honest, planning on doing a lot of this. I just graduated college, came back to town in 2015, and was trying to get into occupational therapy school and taking some classes at Frostburg, just a couple to try and be able to try and apply. But during the spare time I was helping clean up this property my family's had for the past about 12 years, and I had gotten it. I was big into craft beer and kind of heard about hops and just kind of found out how hops were actually able to be grown in this area. I thought before they're, only out on the West Coast in the Yakima Valley, but I found out there are some even grown in Maryland. So I was like, oh man, that is really cool. And decided to do a lot of research and end up getting some plants and planting some, just again, kind of as a little side hobby. And I ended up getting, more and more interested in it, and heard about there's a hops and brewers seminar going on that I ended up signing up for, and really was just going for the hop side of it. I was interested in the brew side, but I was like, oh man, it's not yet. And on that, at the seminar, I went to 2 farm breweries, one Vanish, and then we also went over to Milk House, Tom Barris's place in Maryland, and it was really cool. I got to talk to Tom. He was an awesome host. Was able to kind of talk about how they've been, how they gotten started up, how he had been a big part in writing up the farm brewery laws, and it really immediately got me thinking about, man, we've got a really cool place that I think could be a cool farm brewery too. It needs some work and all, but again, there's space and not a whole lot going on in Cumberland in this area for anything similar to that. It's since like Uncle Tucker's back 10, 15 years ago, since there was any brewing going on in town. So we're very excited about being able to bring something like that back to town.
That's great. And you guys have very quickly become a destination for the community more for than just your beer. You're offering a whole assortment of local foods, local drink there. You guys are, when times are normal, you're a great venue for people to come and enjoy live music and just get a taste of what's going on in Cumberland and in Allegheny County. How has that response kind of been rewarding to you?
It's been really cool because, in ways, the amount of people that just travel for, checking out craft beer or farm breweries or different food, music, whatever event we've got going on. Crazy to see how, people will travel for it. The way we've been going about it, we've never really planned on doing a restaurant side of it because I feel like it'd just be way too much running 2 different businesses, in one. And we'll focus on the beer side and then bring in other local vendors to do the food. And I think that keeps it great. I think we have a different menu each week that people like that being able to come out, and it's not the same thing over and over. It's different local place coming out and gets their, audience and mix audiences. So that's always cool getting to collaborate that way.
It's kind of nice to have this epiphany as a consumer where you can finally start to pick your favorite place to go based on the beer and know that there's always going to be some new food option rather than like your traditional experience going to a restaurant or a great tap house or something that features a bunch of great beer but also has the same menu every week. It's like, it's kind of nice because the brewing industry is kind of beyond the point of always having a core set of beers. You're rotating your taps pretty frequently, so people can get there without getting tired of it.
Yeah, that's definitely for us. That's been what we've been loving. Also, it keeps it interesting for us that we're able to. We definitely do have. There's about 4 or 5 that now are. If we don't have them on, people are asking and like what's going on, so we gotta get them back on. But we do like to rotate it out, like and especially like doing different stuff like our sours right now. We've there's just sours are new for us. We started really at the beginning of the year, and the way we've been kind of, we have one that we stick to that everybody seems to love. Our Squatch sour is a passion fruit guava sour, kettle sour. That's our like kind of go-to, but we're kind of trying to do one-offs every other time. We're doing different flavors in and trying to change it up.
Well, that's a pretty good intro to the beer that you said was going to be your most refreshing bet right now. So what are you sipping on?
That's what I was going to say. I need to go get one. Our new strawberry sour just came out last week and has been flying out, and perfect day for it today as well.
So Corey and I were talking before this started. He doesn't have all of his beer in cans today, so he's going to jump away from the camera and pour himself a fresh beer every time because there's nothing more beautiful on a computer than a freshly poured fresh beer. Great head. So we're waiting for Corey to come back with his strawberry sour. And learn a little bit more about 1812. For those of you that haven't been there, the space is truly amazing. The barn above the tasting room is a huge, huge space with some really nice views, and it's a really exciting place to visit. Great outdoor experiences around the area. Elizabeth in the comments says 1812 is a great brewery. The beers are inventive and the atmosphere cannot be beat. And Elizabeth, I have to agree, the atmosphere there is fantastic. It's a great place to visit. And let's let Corey tell us all about the strawberry sour.
Cheers, Elizabeth. Glad to hear you've been enjoying it. So I've got here our new strawberry sour. And also, so it's different if anybody's been out in the last year or two. Last year, we did a strawberry wheat beer that before we got into the kettle sours. So we did a strawberry wheat last year that was kind of new for us. It definitely had a nice tart note to it. And we immediately saw, we already knew sours were becoming a thing, and people were loving our last year's strawberry because it had a little tartness. So we knew like we wanted to redo a sour eventually with strawberry, and also so again we always try to kind of run off stuff of the history of the farm when we can. It used to be a strawberry field or strawberry farm where it was a come pick your own strawberries from about I think the early or late 90s to or late 80s to late 90s until the old farmer Fagan had moved out. But yeah, so I love doing like the historical stuff and going back to the strawberry stuff because it's one that I remember growing up a mile down the road, coming down and picking strawberries when I was a kid.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's one reason we went with the strawberry for this one.
So from what I remember from the first time I came out and you kind of walked me through the brewery and all of that kind of stuff, your family had a pretty good relationship with the family that owned the property a while before, right?
Yeah, they did. So yeah, my father. So again, I grew up about a mile and a half down the road, and we've always had cattle. And my dad had always been really good friends with Richard Fagan here, because he, once Richard got older and was too old to be doing the strawberry fields, he wasn't doing much with the fields, but still needed to maintain them. And my dad needed some hay for his cattle, so it worked out. He came down and had a really good relationship because he'd do the hay and bring it back down for cattle, and then fields were maintained. And then whenever it got to a point where the Fagans got pretty old and were trying to move out to a retirement community, and he was really particular about who he wanted to sell the property to. He didn't want somebody to just come in and tear it all up or whatever. He wanted you to he respected the farm and wanted it to be respected, and he knew after a while, I guess there was a few people he had even kind of turned down because he didn't like their ideas what they were going to do. And he came over to my dad and was like, well, what do you plan on doing for hay and stuff? And really then talked him into getting the property really based on just the fields. And because before we really weren't doing much with the barn at all, more for storage than anything. And like so on the patio, we have our loafing shed, which again, it's called the loafing shed because it's where all the old farm equipment would just sit and loaf whenever it wasn't being used. So, and that's become a very big part for us now. We ended up realizing how big important it was for the outdoor space and how much people just already wanted to be outside. So last year, luckily, we finished out the loafing shed, and now there's some fans, heating AC in there, and bathrooms, and even some taps over there too. So yeah, we've kind of just grown on with the farm and tried to bring it back to life. And yeah.
Is Farmer Fagan still around? Is he happy with what's happened?
Yeah, he does. He comes back in, checks in like every 2-3 months, and yeah, he definitely appreciates having a nice strawberry beer every once in a while.
Send him home with a growler or two and make him a happy camper, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Well, that's a great story. I really like that one of the things we talk about a lot with the Brewers Association is just how community-oriented breweries become. You don't just become a destination in your community. You become an active member of what's going on in your community. And you and I are going to talk a little bit more about the things that you're doing out in Cumberland. But you become a staple of the neighborhood. You're part of what's going on. And it sounds like that mentality and that vision was already kind of ingrained in what was going on with your dad and your neighbor. And you kind of already had this give and take symbiotic relationship with a good, classy neighbor. And now you're able to extend that in a new way. And you're bringing new life to this farm that could have had a much different end.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, again, we always are loving doing different collaborations, whether it's food stuff or because we've done different food pairings at a few different local restaurants. We've also with our one of our most popular beers is a collaboration we've done with a local coffee company, Base Camp Coffee. We originally did one with our stout. We did a Base Camp stout, and then this summer we did a Base Camp cream ale. And so it was a nice, light, easy drinking for the summer with a great coffee touch, which, again, all the Base Camp fans from in town, they would come out and, dig it. So, and, we send people their way too. So it's a really great relationship. And, again, another local collaboration that just is going great for both of us, I think.
When I was looking for an image to share from your Instagram feed to announce that we were going to be chatting this week, I almost used the Base Camp cream ale photo because it was like, that's right up my alley. And then I'm like, how many people the weekend of Labor Day are going to want a coffee cream ale?
Yeah.
Not everybody's like me. I mean, I could drink coffee from sun up to sundown.
Oh yeah. It's a particular person, but we're actually on our last keg of it right now, and then gonna be going to our winter style, going to the base camp stout again. So we'll be ready for that too.
Well, you may see me over the weekend then.
Hey, we'll be here for you.
It's worth the round trip for sure. I wanted to say that I really respect Farmer Fagan's negotiating skills, finding out how your dad was going to get his hay as a way to leverage selling the place. That's a good move.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what has kind of guided you didn't come into this as a professional brewer. You didn't have professional brewing experience before you guys opened as this family farm brewery. You had an inherent interest in one of the best ingredients in beer in my mind. I love hops. What was it that kind of guided your overall philosophy about brewing beer, and what makes you interested in the styles that you're putting on and putting through your system?
So I'd say for philosophy for what we're brewing, because again, I don't do the brewing myself. I help with the brews, but we've got Jason Thomas and Aaron Murphy are brewers, and I'm helping out. But I choose on what we're brewing, but a lot of it based on, again, the community. I try and listen to what people want, and again, just like you, I love hops and stuff. I'm always going for hoppy stuff usually first, but it's not necessarily the case for what everyone in the community wants, especially when we started up. Like I said, we're first to start back up since Uncle Tucker's was brewing in the area for a while, so there wasn't really anyone doing craft beer right here in town. Definitely a lot of just non-craft beer drinkers around, so it was a lot of just teaching people in the area of different beers that we're doing. And so I didn't want we don't do any too crazy stuff. We just started doing the sours like I said, like 8 months ago. So it is, we've been just kind of listen to what people want, and but then definitely Jason, Murph, and I will be back in there talking about different stuff that we've had, and like, hey, do you think we could do something similar? How would it be received here? And kind of go from there. And also typically, because we're a big family friendly place, that we're not typically doing too heavy of beers. We try and keep it on the lower side, and typically it's people come out for an hour or two, a lot of families, and we don't want people coming out having a couple double IPAs all day and then getting too crazy. And cause we close up at 10 o'clock, so it's kind of nice. You don't see the too crazy rough and rowdy crowd, more of just laid back people coming out, have a couple of beers, hanging around for a bit, grab some food, listen to music. So really beers we do just based off what's popular. Like we got into the sours recently. We just started doing the New England style again, because we did a New England last summer and then didn't for a while, and then saw that they were not going away. It looked like everybody's still loving them. And again, Jason, Murph, and I all kind of got back into them, because I think we all got burnt out on New Englands for a while when they first came out. That's all we were drinking. But so again, we just got back into brewing them, and our Humdinger Hazy we'll be talking about in a bit. That's been our big hit lately.
I'm sure that's killing it.
Yeah, so really just kind of depend on what people are asking for, what's the trends going around all over.
I don't know if you saw the few comments that I popped up, but the contingency from Union is watching right now, and it seems like just like I am, everybody's enamored with Murph. So tell them that everybody in BAM loves him.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, what's going on, Union guys?
Both Jenna and Adam are in the chat already, so I think we all made some good friends last year at Delfest.
Oh, absolutely. That was a great time, and great friends made, of course.
Looking forward to the next one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So before we stray too far into the next beer or anything, for folks that have not been out to 1812, there is a sight to behold when you get there. There's been a conversion on this fire truck that is probably one of the coolest things. And I'm going to go and look for a picture of it. Can you tell the story of that fire truck and what role it played last year in that event that we did at Delfest?
Yeah, I was going to say perfect time with that, because we released our beer bus last year at Delfest, which our beer bus is a 1952 old fire bus that my uncle actually had, and it was just kind of sitting around. It was a project that my dad then got the bus from, that kind of was supposed to be a project that my brothers and I all were going to work on, and of course it kind of just kept kind of getting pushed back, and then finally, it was sitting around, and the brewery was starting up, and we all were joking around one night around the bar, we need a beer bus. And we're like, well, hey, we got a bus. And also, so the back of the bus is all just open space. So again, it was 1952. So it was more of just transporting all the firemen. So the back space, we ended up cutting out an area and putting basically kind of like the setup for jockey boxes. We have 4 taps though right into the side of the bus that we were able to unveil at Delfest last year. So that was really cool. We had our fence mender Pale Wheat was out there, and we actually, that was the weekend I think we released our Cumberland Blues Pale Ale. We didn't have it on like for the festival. We had the first night of the kind of tasting there, which that's turned into one of our top sellers here that we keep on year round now. But yeah, there's the little fire bus. I think got muted.
I keep doing that to myself. I was going to say that's the beautiful detail on that fire bus. That's the backdrop at Delfest last year. If I recall, the siren works and the lights all work and everything, right?
Oh yeah, we can get lights going, let you know where beer's at.
That's what it's all about, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're excited to hopefully get that back up and going at different festivals and different events once everything's back to hopefully normal.
Whatever normal looks like in the next couple of months, huh?
Future normal, yeah. Yeah.
So with the strawberry sour, before we move on to something else, what package varieties do you have that available in now? Is that draft only?
Currently just draft and doing some growler fills. And so we just got a new canning system last week that we're hoping to have up and running in the next week or two. And then we'll be trying to just stock up the fridge with most of our beers.
That's awesome.
Our sours are always asked for cans. Whenever we were up and canning with our old canner, sours, it was tough to keep up with that one.
Well, you're in a great place for where people are keen to grab some beers and take them with them, whether they're on their way out to the lake or they're going to a river or something like that. You've got lots of opportunities out there to enjoy the outdoors and have great local beer while you're doing it.
Absolutely. Nothing better than going out camping with a little 4-pack or something.
I know you're going to jump up to get another beer. What's your next beer that you're going to do? Sip on?
I was going to jump into the BAM Pale Ale, I think.
Let's do it.
All right. I'll be right back.
And I'm going to spitball a little bit. 1812 is one of the breweries that participated in the Brew for BAM collaboration promotion that was started by Idiom Brewing Company. I'm actually drinking Idiom Brewing Company's Brew for BAM release right now. It's phenomenal. It came out earlier this week. So if you see Brew for BAM or beer like Wham Bam from Crooked Crab that has the BAM name in it, ask the staff at the brewery about it and know that those beers have been thought about and collaborated on by the brewers. They're using these beers as a fundraiser to help support the Brewers Association of Maryland since we are not having festivals this year. And we think it's a really cool thing that these members are doing for their brand and their association. And we are very, very honored to have such great talents in the industry. That said, if any of you have any desire to support BAM directly, we do have a PayPal set up for contributions at paypal.me/sofasippin'. I don't put that up in every episode, but I figure if we're talking about the Brew for BAM and you can't get out to 1812 to pick up their beer, you can make a contribution directly to us. So, Corey, tell us all about this great beer.
So for our Brew for BAM, we decided to do a pale ale because whenever Mike from Idiom had reached out to us, we had literally just kegged up our new IPL. So we decided we were going to go with the pale ale version. So ours, we ended up doing, we used a ton of Galaxy, Mosaic, and Vic Secret hops. So it is, I was always joking with people, you can smell it even through your mask on. You can smell all the hoppiness. It's nice and hoppy forward if you're into the hop stuff like I know you are.
Yeah, absolutely. One of our friends, Ruth, said that she enjoyed Full Tilt's Bam's Jams Key Lime Sour. That was a great beer. Has a nice story on the label. We've got Kevin Addicks floating around in a little pool unicorn and making himself happy in Dan's pool. So it's a great time.
I saw the artwork on that. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So let's talk about artwork. We get a lot of people who talk about the art that they have there. You guys have some really cool styling. You've got your take on the Rosie the Riveter. I've got some stickers from you guys of Sasquatch. What's inspiring all the great artwork from your brewery?
We kind of just kick around different ideas amongst all of us in the back, and different stuff fits. A lot of, especially with the, definitely the Squatch stuff recently, out in the woods a bit. It feels like people, I think, come out to get away from the city a lot of times, come out and hang out. We're not going to be hearing cars zooming around, but get to, hear sheep in the background maybe, or just, see tractors going around in the fields cutting hay. We just had hay day again last week. So really just lately, with the Squash stuff, getting outdoors, and especially currently, social distance, and nothing better than the fresh air. Rosie the Riveter, just that was just a fun one. We kind of early on kicked around, just I can't even remember exactly how it got started, but everybody loved it and decided to go with it. So
very cool. Who are you working with? Do you work with a local designer to do that stuff? Are you doing that in-house?
Yeah, we've been doing some local stuff, but also some more in-house more recently. So yeah, a lot of in-house stuff now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So let's talk a little bit about one of the things that a lot of breweries have been doing is becoming a destination for more than just the beer. And we kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier with some of the live events that you guys have done. You're very fortunate. You're in a hotbed of live entertainment out there. You've got a really booming kind of live music situation going on because of all of the love that our friends at Delfest have put into the community out there. How has that worked out for you guys? I know you've had some pretty big headlining acts at 1812 that have been a draw for people who are into bluegrass or maybe kind of like jam music. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you're building those relationships?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's just, I don't know, I started going out to Delfest about 6 or 7 years ago with my mom. So that was just something we have always been into, bluegrass, and we knew that was something whenever we started up here we wanted to get into, but we didn't think it would happen so fast, being able to get some bigger acts and stuff like this. But it's something, our Delfest is a huge part of our community, so it's a lot of our customers definitely are loving it whenever we get something more bluegrassy, but we not just all bluegrass, we try and change it up. But yeah, like tonight, this evening, we've got the Plate Scrapers. They were out at Delfest last year. They're awesome up and coming band. They just released a new album that's really good. We actually also just booked Sierra Hall for October 3rd, so I'm extremely excited for that. And get a couple more things in before it gets too cold and have to trying to just extend our season for doing some shows.
That's great. Well, if you are there while the Plate Scrapers are this afternoon, please tell them that the Brewers Association again thanks them for their participation in Sofa Sippin' back in May. It was great to have their video that they sent in. It was probably the best shot of all of the acts that we had on there. Like whoever they had take that video did a great job. And if I recall from that day, people were loving their set that they sent us. So big round of applause for them. And if you could just please, on behalf of BAM, extend a thanks again.
I can definitely pass that along. Yeah, they're an awesome bunch of guys.
That's cool. I'm really happy that you guys still have the ability outdoors, keeping with social distancing and making sure that everybody's safe to at least offer a little bit of entertainment and kind of an escape from all the craziness that's going on around us right now.
Oh, yeah, because I think everybody's just looking for something to get out and do that can feel comfortable. And, especially if you have family, bring out family or whatever, and have your own space. And
so tell us a little bit about the system that you guys brew with. It's a little unorthodox for a production brewery. I was kind of blown away when I saw it. I was really impressed with how you're utilizing it because I think it's a great way to do it. But for people who may have taken a brewery tour somewhere and they're used to seeing a mash tun, a brew kettle, and then fermentation and all that kind of stuff, can you tell us a little bit about what you guys have set up and how that works?
So yeah, we actually, I can't remember if you've been back since. We've kind of tinkered with it some more, made it even more efficient for us. It was an old used system that is a 4-barrel system that we're pretty much running as 8-barrel now. We're just doing double brewed days. It originally was a brew on premise system, so there was 5 small kettles that you could have 5 different people come in and make their own kind of, they have to, start with similar stuff, but they could, once it gets the kettles, add in different hops, whatever. We realized that it was just not good to do it that way. We cut those out and are now just doing all in the mash and wort receiver. Like I said, we're doing 4-barrel batches, double in a day, and filling. Sorry to jump back. We started out when we started brewing, we were just doing we had 2-barrel unit tanks and we had 5 of them. So we were just doing like 2-barrel batches, or we do 4 and put in 2 different tanks. But slowly started growing, and we're like, all right, we need some bigger tanks, and that's when we started. So last year we got a couple of 10-barrel tanks that now we have 3 10-barrel tanks plumbed in. We just last month just got another 10-barrel tank and another 10-barrel bright tank to be able to keep up. So yeah, we're slowly but surely growing, and especially because we're looking to try and hopefully in the next year or two get a new 10-barrel system to brew on, so that we're not having to do at least back to back like that right now.
So where are you going to put all of this tank equipment? That brew space was a little tight.
It's been getting very tight. We actually took out some of the stairs and to make space for the firmware that we just got in bright tanks. So we know that's going to fit, and that's what we're trying to look around at different systems of whether we could actually fit a 10-barrel system also inside of there, or else I've been looking at a couple of different options if not.
Sorry, my dog just started banging into her crate, so I was trying to mute myself, and then I started talking.
All good.
It's Friday, man. It's going to be a long weekend, so my head's already in the game for what I'm going to do to relax.
Hey, there you go.
I'm really excited to hear that you guys are expanding, and it's great that you're in a space where you're thinking about, hey, how are we going to, jump up to the next set of equipment that's going to take us to the future? And that's kind of a great way to kick off the next question I had, which is, what does the future look like for you? Do you anticipate that you're going to maintain all of the business and brewing there on the property? Do you see yourselves looking for other kind of expansion? Like, what do you see when you think about where your brewery is going to be in 5-10 years?
Immediately for us, like I said, we just got a new canning system last week. That canning, we plan on that being a big part of what we're going to be doing. We saw it was huge for us during during COVID shutdown, doing just takeout. So that is a big reason why we think we're going to be needing to jump up to a 10-barrel system. But not sure if we would really need to go anything bigger than that, depending on what we're going. We're not, trying to get out all over the U.S. Right now, I'm self-distributing and just in Allegheny County right now. We did get out to Frederick a little bit. We've had a couple of kegs in at Roast House Pub, but really just trying to stay local right now, really capture our area here and try and slowly grow. So not trying to jump out anywhere huge yet.
Hopefully you'll be fortunate and have the demand make you do that.
Yeah, if anything, yeah. And then we'll plan from there.
Yeah, there you go. What's the next beer that you want to talk about? And then I'd like you to share a little bit about that beer and then talk to us about how you're scheduling some upcoming beers and what we have to look forward to.
Cool. Well, I am going to go grab our Blood Orange. It is our most popular in the house. I'm going to grab the Blood Orange and we can talk about that.
All right, cool. I wish I knew how to sing or play an instrument very well, because I would entertain all of you in the meantime. I know that I'm not that fun to look at. So for anybody who does have any questions for Corey, please drop them into the comments. If you're tuning in right now and you may have missed the introduction, I'm Jim. I'm with the Brewers Association of Maryland. We appreciate you tuning in. Breweries throughout the state are open for business. Please go out and show your support this weekend. We're still at the 50% capacity for indoors for those breweries who have chosen to open their tasting rooms or who have local ability to do so. All breweries are able to offer you carry-out, curbside, and delivery and shipping. So check with your favorite local brewery and find out exactly how to support them. Billy, I love your enthusiasm. There is no way that I'm going to be able to make that work, but thank you very much. Hey, look, Corey's back.
Made it back.
All right, so this is the Blood Orange Wheat. I've had this one several times. It's a delicious beer. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, this is a very easy drinking, pre-crushable Blood Orange Wheat that we actually did for the first time last fall, and it was not planned to be one that was going to stick around. It was kind of one we were just kind of messing around with, and immediately became #1 seller in the house, and it was now one that pretty much dictates our brew schedule. It's especially lately during the summertime, because it's so easy to drink on a hot summer day.
That's a great beer. What was your thought when you guys originated the recipe? What was the idea? Just let's try something new and unique and see what happens, or?
Yeah, we were just trying something new. Wanted to get something, we were kind of planning for springtime. It was a small batch that we did the first time. I think we did a 2-barrel batch originally. And again, it came out, to be honest, better than we planned it to be. It was, it was from the start a big hit, and just one that we knew was like, all right, I think we're gonna have to keep it on. And it's not, other than like a week or two, it'll be off because rebrewing it. But yeah, I think it's gonna be one we're gonna be keeping year round.
That's great, man. I'm happy to hear that there's some success behind that, and it's not that it's an atypical beer, but it's not a beer that you would have expected 5 or 6 years ago walking into a brewery to have as kind of the staple. It used to be like a really nice, well-balanced pale ale, or, maybe a nut brown or something like that would have always been on the menu at some breweries. And now you've got something with kind of some fruit-forward character. It's also a wheat beer, so it's not necessarily going to be one of these super light affairs on the palate. And people are really into it. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, it's got a nice little bite to it. It's 5.3%. So again, you can have a few of them for getting into the weeds and getting into trouble. But it's, again, we love it.
Based on your location, the idea that you have with kind of the sessionability of beers is really crucial. I've been out there a couple of times. I've taken 3 different ways to get there. Each one of them is awesome in its own right. But you're not too far off the beaten path, but it's not like you're right off of the exit either. So missing one of those turns could take you like another 10-minute diversion to get back to the road. So the idea that you want people to not only be safe while they're there, but also be safe to get home and find their way back, I think is great and commendable.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. We are just about 2.5 miles off of 68 really, but it's some windy back roads to us. And yeah, people, I think that's another good thing I think about it, though. People know, you can come out and have your fun, but not too much fun. You still got to get home. It's not like you're right downtown able to walk home or whatever. You got to get yourself back safely.
You've got some folks from Firm Brewing who are interested in coming and checking out the space. They are in the process of building out their brewery right now, so we're excited. It's another place that's going to be focused on live music and great beer. So
there you go. We'd love to have you guys out.
Hook up with Billy. You guys would do a great job having some collaborative expressions. I think you guys would do very well. Billy's a big Delfest guy too, so you may already know him.
Oh, Del, yeah.
What does the next couple of months look like? What does winter look like out at 1812? I mean, you stay open. What are your plans this year with kind of the uncertainty of what's going on with COVID?
Yeah, so we are trying to figure out how we can, like I said, best extend our summer into fall and then fall into, winter, safely and warmly. Luckily, again, we have the outdoor space, the loafing shed that I was talking about. We last year built on an awning outside of it, and we added garage doors so we can close it off, and there's heaters and stuff inside, but we're trying to figure out a way that we could possibly do a wrap or something on the awning on the outside still to just add an extra 6 to 8 tables outside and still be able to, have some people out there and spread out.
You guys do fire pits and all that kind of cool stuff, right?
Yeah, we do. We've got a fire pit on the just in the middle of the patio, and then inside the loafing shed, there's also a fire built in.
That's awesome. So there is an opportunity to stay warm even if you have to be outside this fall or winter, and you can still enjoy delicious beer. There's nothing better on a cold day than being around a nice warm fire with a great beer.
Oh no, nothing more better. Yeah, better than the sweater weather, being around a fire and having a cold beer.
There you go. What is your kind of fall and winter lineup look like? You talked a little bit about the Base Camp Stout that you're thinking about rebrewing. What else do you guys plan this year? You have anything super exciting or fun that you're working on?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Right now in the tanks, we've got for Oktoberfest, we have a Marzen coming out that it is pretty similar to the one we did last year, which I thought was delicious. So I'm very excited for that. Then we have on this Sunday, we are brewing a new Baltic Porter, which that I'm excited for because we've done just regular porters before, but we haven't done a Baltic yet. So that one, and again, kind of going again out of our, normal realm of kind of lower ABV. This one's going to be up there a little higher than what we typically do. So
it'll be a reason to celebrate.
Hey, gotta have something to warm you up once it gets cold.
There you go. What about, opportunities that are going on there in Cumberland. You guys have recently been joined by another brewery in the community. You've got Dig Deep out that way. What's kind of happening in the community there? Do you see Cumberland residents and the neighbors really like embracing craft beer?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because, hey, it's just another good spot to go in town and get some good beer now. And because I know actually there's another Locust Post in Little Orleans. They were just out last night and very excited. They were just doing their first brew. So that's, again, just another spot people in Western Maryland can just hop around to and know there's something to do.
Yeah, we're looking forward to Locust Post opening. I know they had a little bit of a setback with fire a couple of months ago, but it doesn't seem like it took them too far off the path. And we get excited every time we hear some updates from Tony.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I think definitely people here are very excited because, like I said, I think everybody was starving for it in the last few years before we had opened. Nobody was doing that around here. And it was, for us, it was, we love to go, further over to like Hagerstown, Frederick, and that's where we'd have to go to get, PA even kind of closer to get some breweries around this way. So people are very excited that we're here, Dig Deep, and then Locust Post coming.
I think everybody who really embraces what's going on with Maryland beer and kind of this great growth that we're seeing with new breweries and new talent coming to the state and all these great ideas. I think it's great as we see communities like once one brewery opens, you start to see the dominoes fall and other people are like, hey, there's a lot of opportunity here. And the competition doesn't mean that we're going to put anyone out of business or we're going out of business. It means we're creating an experience that people are going to want to come out and be a part of.
Yeah, and I think if anything, just creating more people that are going to be interested in, hey, if you might not have made it out to us, but if you're downtown in Cumberland, you might make it into Dig Deep, and then you find a couple of beers that you like there. You might now be more of a craft beer fan than you thought you were, and now be willing to check out a few other spots like us or Locust Post once they're up, or just any other craft beer place in Maryland.
And it almost gives, not that you guys are totally out of the way for the rest of Maryland, but it's not necessarily the closest place to where a majority of the population in the state lives. But if somebody's coming out to 1812 now, there's a much better excuse to make a day of it if they can visit 2 or 3 places and say, hey, we got to have all of these experiences, rather than just maybe saying, hey, we're going to go there and maybe, try a restaurant we've never tried downtown. And in times like this, that's kind of an odd ordeal. So I think it's really encouraging that we still see that there's a lot of momentum where you are and that there seems to be enough demand and that people are excited about it.
Oh, yeah. I think people are thirsty for sure around here.
Well, the thirst is a good thing to have.
Yeah.
So what do you have going on this weekend? You said you have the plate scrapers tonight. What else is going on to celebrate Labor Day and to make people want to get out for a little while?
Yeah, we've got a busy Labor Day planned tonight. Like I said, plate scrapers and a pizza, B-Rad's pizza truck. Tomorrow night, we've got Travis Minnick playing and Good Karma Catering doing food. And then Sunday, so the first Sunday of each month, we do a farmer's market out here. So we just ask for local vendors come out and bring up their own little pop-up stands in the loafing shed. And we open up early. We open up at 10. So they'll be going from 10 till 3 farmer's market. And we're really excited because we actually got in the past we haven't had any like actual produce. We've got some fresh produce going to be here. We actually have the most vendors that we've ever had coming out this weekend, this Sunday. And then we actually, again, it's a busy Sunday. We've got then a local fundraiser. Friends Aware is going to be doing a big fundraiser from 1 to 5. So again, yeah, just a big community day, community weekend coming out here.
So if anybody in Allegheny County who's watching needs an excuse to get out of the house and support local businesses, local farmers, local artisans, get out there on Sunday, show your love during the farmers market, give to this group that 1812 is working with, see what you can do to help support what's happening there. And if you're not from Allegheny County and you're looking for a reason to take a day trip, 1812 is definitely a spot to visit, and you should put it on your calendar right away. I know you want to talk about the humdinger, so let's bang that thing out. We've got about 10 minutes left.
Gotcha.
Show us this awesome beer, and we can wrap.
Sounds good. I'll be right back.
Pat Green, I think everybody on this call can agree with you that fall and winter beers are delicious. We all love them. And hopefully you have some great ones in the fridge for some upcoming fall weather. I don't know how soon that's coming, but we can wish. Sorry for the brief break. Corey is running to get fresh beer each time. He has a very keen interest in making sure that every one of the beers that he's showcasing today looks phenomenal. They all have looked great. Wonderful amounts of foam on top of them. Great pours. They look great in his glass. But we wanted to make sure that everything you saw looked fresh off the tap instead of something that may have been sitting in front of him for 15, 20 minutes before he got a chance to talk about it. I might have to invite some more breweries on next time so we can have a chorus and we can all sing together while you're pouring your beer.
Yes. That would get me moving faster, probably.
Yeah, you hear our voices and say, man, we need to stop this.
Yeah, we're going to lose everybody watching. Got to get back.
Tell me all about this humdinger, man. I know the hazy stuff has not been like the number one thing that you guys have been doing. You've been sticking to some more like traditional appearing pale ales with most of the things I've seen come out from you. A lot of your styles seem like they're backed in kind of a classic approach to beer. Tell us about this, because this is a totally modern take on an IPA.
Yeah, so again, it'd been a while since we got into doing New England's, because we did the one last summer and it was okay sour here. We thought it was pretty good and all, but we just didn't think everybody around here was really into them that much. And again, we weren't too big into them at the time. Well, again, we were kind of getting burned off of them, but we were like, hey, this summer everybody's still going nuts over them. Let's try it out again. And we got a bunch of new hops that we hadn't worked with. Galaxy was the first we had actually used Galaxy, so we were very excited to get some of that and use it in here. And yeah, it is pretty nice and tasty. It's actually, so it's a little bit lighter. It's at 5.7, so it's also, again, kind of closer with ours, keeping it a little bit lower, a little bit easier drink, and have a couple more on the patio.
Very nice. So it's really sticking in that vein of the traditional New England, not super high ABV. Very great and approachable in terms of bitterness, and probably super delectable on the palate.
Oh yeah, it's very easy to put down, nice and juicy hops, and oh yeah, it's been going well for us.
So
the humdingers, the bands that we got out here and all.
Nice. You guys are playing around with some hops that for a while were pretty tough to get a hold of. You've mentioned a couple of them already today in your lineups of beers. How have you guys found acquisition of hops? Has it been troublesome, or are you able to get what you want and what you need?
So this was it. We just saw there was a big sale going on, and we're like, all right, let's jump on it. And because before it was just too expensive for us to get into. We were just kind of using a lot of more basic ones, and so really it was just once we saw the opportunity, we're like, hey, let's pull the trigger on it and try and make a crazy good beer.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you guys are doing as well as you are. I'm also very happy that it seems like things are somewhat normal for a nice brewery out in Western Maryland. You have the opportunity to have your guests there. You guys are fortunate that you have the space to occupy people's time and give them the respite that they might be looking for from a busy week or a busy month when they come and stop by. So I'm very happy that things are going well.
Oh yeah. Again, and thank you for all the help during all the shutdown. And as you'd said, with speaking respite, thanks to Brendan and True Respite for getting Beer Me going on, and your guys at BAM help for letting us be able to go out and do deliveries, because that was a really big part for us being able to keep going. And it was really cool also to just see the community support for how many people were still calling in, getting deliveries, and or just coming out and picking up stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah, the last time I saw you was actually over Memorial Day weekend, the weekend we were supposed to be out there doing the Delfest thing, and my wife and I came out anyway. We stopped by and said hello, and you were telling me that you guys had some pretty good success with a couple of key guests that you knew couldn't live without your beer, and you were getting them deliveries and taking care of them, so that was really good to hear.
Yeah, and I just ended up kind of stretching out what we were expecting for how far we deliver. It was actually one of our base delivery person was 40 minutes away, and he was making it worth it. He was getting a case of beer every time almost, and it was, again, very cool. Everybody in the community was very awesome supporting us, so we really appreciate that.
Well, everybody who tuned in this afternoon, on behalf of Corey and everybody else in the Brewers Association, I think Maryland Breweries just want to say thank you to the Maryland Beer Drinker. You guys have been doing a great job supporting your local breweries, supporting the jobs that these breweries are giving to people in your community. You're going out of your way to make sure that all of our businesses are able to continue operating and stay open. So thank you for everything that you're doing. We always ask, please support your Maryland breweries this weekend. It's a holiday weekend. We'd love to see you sharing your pictures of Maryland beer. Hashtag MD Beer if you're going to be putting those things up. We'd love to see them. And Corey, have a safe weekend. Take care of your staff, yourself, your family, and make sure everybody has a fun time. Everybody viewing, if you have any questions about what's happening with Maryland beer, check us out on Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching us there. We have great content with these Fermented Friday chats. We're going to add more. And we have some very cool things coming up on YouTube in the next couple of months. So please keep an eye out there. Visit us at marylandbeer.org and support Maryland beer. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thanks, Jim.
See you, Corey.
Cheers.